tonight's true scary story is one of the more intense ones that I've gotten in a while. When you're able to fight off an entity on your own at a young age, go you. But before we get started, I just want to remind you, subscribe to my YT. The link is in my link tree in my bio, where I tell scarier stories, longer versions of stories, and the same stories I tell in here over there. And if you want me to tell your true scary story and recount it on here or over there, the link is in my bio. Well, the email is in my bio. It's kaisespooky@gmail.com. Email me your stories, guys. Today's submitter's name is Trenton, and Trenton did say that I could tag them, so they will be in the description. So if you have any questions or comments, drop them below. Trenton is 18 years old and lives in Georgia, but this story takes place when they were 12 to 13 years old, when they lived in the house of basically hell. That's what I would call it. They lived with their sister in a full house. It was them, it was their older sister, her fiance, their 2-year-old son, their mother, and then Trenton's 2 little sisters. So Trenton said when they first moved into the house that the energy in the house was absolutely off. It was terrifying, it was dark, they didn't like it at all, but they didn't want to scare anybody else in the house, so they didn't say anything about it, and they tried to just brush it off and ignore it. This energy would soon become unbearable and lead to something absolutely horrifying. So one day Trenton was coming home from school, and they had to ride the school bus, and so they got dropped off at the end of the neighborhood. So they walk a couple houses down and they get into their house, they open the door, and they hear their mom calling their name. But the way that she's calling their name, it sounds like she's scared. When they walk into their mother's room, she is sitting on the bed and she is shaking. She is absolutely terrified, and what she tells Trenton is absolutely bone chilling. She said that when all the kids were at school, she was doing stuff in the house, when all of a sudden she looks over and she sees this tall man in the doorway of the room. He had a black hat, black suit, a long, dangerous smile is how she explained it, and no eyes, and the face of what kind of looked like Slender Man. She said that when she saw this figure, she got this feeling that it wanted to unalive her. Like, it was just pure evil, the feeling that she got. So she looks down because she thinks she's tripping. She looks back up, the figure is absolutely gone. Trenton said that this really scared them, and after their mother told them this, the energy in the house picked up even more. It got darker and heavier, and soon this thing would reveal itself to Trenton, but in a way that is so bad. Like, They said that one night they were going to sleep, they said goodnight to their mom, they got ready for bed, they get in bed and they fall asleep. Well, a few hours later, they wake up in the middle of the night and they hear footsteps just walking around, just doom, doom, doom. They hear these footsteps approaching their room, so they sit up rapidly because they're like, what is going on right now? Is there an intruder? Is there someone here? When there's no intruder, because standing right in front of their eyes is the same exact entity that their mother had seen. They said that chills went down their entire body. They've never felt any fear like this before in their life, and they decided that they're gonna ignore it. So they lay back down, they put the covers over their head, and they just sit there hoping that this thing will go away. Well, a couple minutes after putting the blankets over their head, they're just laying there, and they decide that they're gonna remove the blankets again. So they remove the blankets, and the figure again is gone. They actually ended up falling asleep after this. I have no idea how that happened, but they did, and they wake up the next day and they don't want to tell anybody. Again, they don't want to scare anybody in their family, so they keep quiet. But 2 months later, this figure would reappear and try to unalive Trenton. They're sleeping silently on the couch again when they wake up randomly to footsteps again coming in the living room. But the footsteps sound like they're getting closer and closer and closer. Do, do, do. Really slowly. They're absolutely terrified. They don't want to open their eyes, but they finally decide, I'm going to open my eyes. So they open their eyes, and right in front of them again is the figure that they had seen 2 months ago and that their mother had seen. Except for this time its longs were super, super long, and it was laughing this absolutely horrific laugh. This is when the figure's arms raise up and just go towards Trenton's neck, wrap around their neck, and just start choking them. They are choking them to the point where they can't breathe. Tried to kick the figure once, it didn't work. The hands grip tighter around their neck, so they're really struggling to breathe at this point. So they try to kick it again, it's not working. So they're absolutely panicking at this point. Like, literally, they think that they're going to be unalive. Finally, Trenton just boom, kicks it one more time. Finally, the figure lets go and just calmly walks to the other side of the living room. The figure then looks back at them, stares at them, and then just dissipates right in front of their face. Though they can't believe what just happened. They're laying there and they're in absolute shock. They literally cannot believe what just happened to them. The next day, they finally fall asleep. I don't know how they fell asleep, but they wake up the next day and they're like, something happened to me last night. It was absolutely terrifying. Like, I can't do this anymore. That's when they get up and they go to walk to where their mom and little sister are, and they're packing bags, and their mom is like, we're going to a hotel room. We cannot stay here anymore. And they're confused by this because they're like, did someone else experience something that I did last night, or did they know what happened to me? I don't understand. Why are we going to a hotel? What their mom tells them is absolutely chilling. She said that the night before, the same night that they were being choked, that she was laying in bed and she wakes up to this figure standing over her bed. Figure then says,
"Get out of this house."
Immediately, their mother knew that it was time to leave that house. It was absolutely horrifying at this point, and they just could not take it anymore. So they moved into a hotel room and they stayed there. They did not go back to that house. It has been 5 years since this incident happened, and they still cannot get this out of their mind. The crazy thing is Trenton never told their mother what happened, never told anybody in the world what happened to them. I am the first person that they have ever told. And they said that they wanted to get this story out there because they needed to get it off their chest. They needed to tell people what happened to them. And they also want to know what you guys think happened to them. What happened to them that night? Like, was that a demon? Was that Slender Man? Was that Hat Man? Like, does Slender Man actually exist? I thought that was a movie. But now people, you know, I guess demons and entities can mimic other creatures that scare people. And maybe that's what's happening here. Maybe a demon is mimicking a fictional character just to scare people, because people have actually been unalived because of Slender Man, even though he was just in a movie. It just goes to show you how powerful movies can be just with the energy, how powerful energy is in general, how powerful storytelling is. Like, the energy that it can bring into your home is insane. So you need to protect yourself before and after you watch scary things. It's crucial to do this. But my name is Kaisa, and I tell true scary stories that you guys submit to me on here every single night. So if you like that, hit that follow button. Also, if you want me to tell your true scary story, my email's in my bio. Again, it's kaisaspooky@gmail.com. And if you appreciate me and you want to support me, I would really appreciate it if you would hit that like button and maybe even drop a comment, but only if you appreciate my stories. So I love you guys so much. You guys are all the best. Seriously, all your kind comments mean the world to me. Every time I see them, I get so giddy. I'll say it every single time. Love you guys so much. Thank you, Trenton, for sending me your story. I hope that you are okay and safe now. I need you to have a safe night, but I also need you to do one more thing for me. And what is that? Have a spooky night. Love you guys. See you in the next one.